Hello folks, as you join in, please go ahead and grab whatever props you like to use. Definitely for this class, let's grab a pillow or two, a blanket or two, and a belt strap or even a hand towel will work for you. So I'll give it a minute as people join us. Hi folks, thank you to those who are jumping on. We'll get started here in just a minute, but please do go ahead and grab a few props such as a pillow, a blanket, and a belt or a strap or even a hand towel will work perfectly fine. We'll give it just another minute or so as folks join us. All right, folks, thank you to everyone who's on. Please do grab a pillow, a blanket, and a belt or a strap or a hand towel will work as well. I'm going to remove my public service announcement. Namaste. Thank you, everyone who's joining. I'm certainly missing all of my regular students at Sattvic Space where this class normally would be happening in real life. So thank you to those of you who have been tuning in. I believe this is week 6 for us now of being apart. This class is part of Sattvic Space's weekly schedule, and we are really happy to be offering it completely free to our students in Hampton Roads, Virginia, and anywhere around the world where you might be tuning in from. And we are offering this class free, so please don't feel any obligation. However, if you find yourself in a position, we are happy to accept donations. You can donate at sattvicSpaceYoga.com or through the Facebook page where you're finding this video live streaming. Please send us a note if you have any questions. And today we will begin a bit differently than we've been doing with this Yoga from Home series. We'll begin supine on the spine, so laying down on your back. So this is where those pillows will come in handy. Now, the real key here is to set yourself up for your absolute comfort. This is your personal yoga practice. Only you know how you feel in your body and in your mind today, every day. So please take my cues as prompts, but do whatever works for you here. I like to have a more firm pillow under my back and thoracic, mid-back area, and then either a light, like fluffy pillow under my head or none at all. So I'll demonstrate how we will begin. Reclined, palms face up. Your feet can be on the ground. Maybe walking your feet as wide as the mat, letting the knees fall together. That's a nice low back opener. Maybe extend your legs out long. Maybe bend the knees, bringing the soles of your feet together. And really anything in between. Anything that feels comfortable for you. So take your time settling in here. And wherever you land, however you find yourself getting comfortable, as I mentioned, flip your hands palm up. That gives us a little external rotation of the arms, opening of the shoulders and chest. So a micro back bend, which if you flip the perspective of back bend is a heart opener. That's how I like to think of them. And begin to breathe deeply here. Don't force a full inhale or force a complete exhale. But as you begin to expand into a more full breath, imagine the inhale floating in through your nostrils, slowly filling up the space of your body. And as you exhale, imagine the breath slowly floating back out. So we've relieved our spine of the gravity that is normally pressing down. And in general, your body just doesn't have to do much work here. So notice how that feels. It might come naturally and feel really easy and relaxing to settle in. Or you might notice that you feel jittery, like moving around, or maybe your thoughts are racing. And please be assured that whatever you're experiencing is perfectly fine. You are right here, and it is right now. And all is well in this moment. Notice where your thoughts are. Our mind has a tendency to run around on us, making lists, worrying about the future, or ruminating on the past. There's nothing wrong. It's what the mind does. We call them chitta vrittis in yoga, the fluctuations of the mind stuff. So we can notice the mind doing its thing, but rather than getting caught up in those thoughts and running off with the mind, notice it happening and let it go. So something that works well for me is when I notice myself thinking thoughts, I shift my awareness and notice my next inhale. And notice the exhale. Notice your next breath coming in through the nostrils. Pause when you're very full of that breath, letting the prana, the energy, the oxygen circulate, and slowly exhale. Pause in the emptiness, the stillness, the heaviness of the body without breath. And let the breath spill back in, filling up with an inhale. Pausing at the top of the inhale, maybe sipping in even more breath. And exhale, letting the body be heavy. Continue breathing at your own pace. Keeping your awareness on your very full inhale and your very slow exhale. Inhaling, I am here now. Exhaling, I release distractions. You're welcome to stay with this breath, or if you'd like to move into a 3-part breath, it might be helpful to place one hand on the low belly area, one hand on the heart space area. And on your next inhale, through the breath, through the nostrils, allow the breath to spill all the way down. Low belly rises under the hand, and the breath travels up. The rib cage expands out, lifts, collarbones spread wide. And as you exhale, pour the breath out from the top of the chest to the middle, to the bottom, gently drawing the navel back towards the spine and up towards the heart. Pause in that emptiness before you let the breath spill in through the nostrils, expanding the lowest part, the middle part, and finally the top part of your chest. And as you exhale, pour the breath out from the top to the middle, to the bottom. Full inhale, letting the breath spill all the way down to the bottom of your chest. It's like you're filling a glass of water. It fills from the bottom to the middle, to the top. And slowly pour that breath back out, top, middle, bottom. You can continue with this 3-part breath if it serves you nicely, or move back to a natural full breath. Staying here for another moment or two. Allowing the day that you've had to dissipate. Allowing the weekend to drift to the past. Releasing thoughts about tomorrow. Practice being in this moment with your breath. you stay with your breath, allow an intention, sankalpa, to come to mind. So this intention can be a dedication, perhaps a word or a phrase that resonates with you. If you choose an intention that's more like a goal, I encourage you to phrase it as if it is already so. If my goal is to feel peaceful, I'll say, I am peaceful. We'll chant Om from this reclined position, maybe having your hands on your body so that you can feel the vibration that you create when you speak or sing or chant. As always, it's optional to chant with me. You're welcome to simply enjoy the vibration of sound that you hear. If you do chant, Om is considered the sound of all sounds and the sound of creation. And it has 4 parts: Ah, O, vibrating, and silence. Inhale deeply. Exhale, sigh the breath out. Inhale for 1 Om. Beginning to move out of this reclined heart opener. Move slowly. We will stay on our back, but let's remove any blankets or pillows that you may have placed under your body. Grabbing the strap, belt, or towel that you have hopefully available. Returning to supine, lying on your spine. Beginning with both feet planted on the earth. Strap in hand, extend your right foot towards the sky, placing the strap or towel over the bottom, the sole of your foot. And extend this right leg long, keeping the foot flexed, heel reaching towards the sky. And as always, you have options. Please make this practice your own. You can keep your left knee bent, foot planted on the ground, or maybe extend the left leg long, maybe somewhere in between. Whatever works for you, but keeping the hips level. So drop your right hip down towards the bottom of your mat. Keep extending long through the right leg. A bend in the knee is perfectly fine. It might even feel better here. And breathe. Noticing where you feel sensation and imagining sending your inhale to that area and releasing tension with your exhale. And I do believe that there's not really a right or wrong in yoga. As long as you've got safe alignment, you can do whatever your heart desires. However, if you're ever in a position and you're not feeling sensation, maybe shimmy the hips or make some adjustments until you do feel something. But we never want to feel pain.
If you feel pain, please back off. We want to explore our edges without going over them. Bring the strap into your right hand. Open up your left arm long, pausing here, hopefully feeling some nice sensation through the left arm, maybe into the left pec, and even neck area. You can roll your head side to side, breathing here. You're welcome to keep your right leg just as it is, or maybe slowly begin to open your right leg out wide. If you have those pillows nearby or maybe a block, you can place them under the right thigh. And breathe wherever you go. Moving slowly here, waking up the body. Perhaps you've been stagnant more than you used to be as we spend more time at home. So moving slowly as we wake up and stretch out the connective tissue and muscles. Breathing deeply, noticing sensations you feel. I'm getting some tingling in my left fingers and arm. So I'm going to back off a little. On an inhale, bring your right leg back to center, switching the strap into your left hand. Open your right arm out wide. And very slowly as you exhale, bring your right leg across the midline of the body towards the left side. Drop your right hip down towards the bottom of the mat. And this might be a very small movement. It might not even be perceptible, just a small movement focused on the IT band, the outside of your right leg. Keep flexing the right ankle, pushing through the right heel, right hip anchoring down as if it's dropping down to the bottom of the mat where your left foot is, and breathing here. Gentle engagement of your abdominal muscles. Maybe rolling your head side to side, shifting the awareness up to the neck and right shoulder. As you breathe here, notice if you're gripping the strap or towel harder than you need to. I have a tendency to get a vice grip, so relax the hand holding the strap as much as you can while still holding. Another full inhale, breathing into your IT band and your hip. Exhale, returning the leg to center. With both hands on the strap, just explore your boundaries as you bring your right toes towards your face. Again, a bend in the knees, okay. Might even be a great idea. Let's all bend our knee, moving the strap into the right hand, or you can keep it in both actually, but bend the right knee towards the right armpit. Maybe you can clasp onto the outer edge of the right foot here, releasing the strap altogether. Like a half happy baby here, a moderately happy baby. And breathe. Full inhale. As you exhale, release your right leg, letting it extend out long. Pause for a moment here. Palms face up, or maybe palms on the hips. Just notice how you feel. Notice how your right leg feels in comparison to your left leg. Planting both feet on the earth again, beginning to shift. Opening up our left leg now. Left heel reaches towards the sky, looping your strap, belt, or towel over the bottom, the sole of your foot. Again, we're seeking level hips, square hips, so anchor your left hip down. Press through the heel of the left foot. So even if you have a bend in the left knee, you can still energetically push through the heel. You might keep your right foot planted on the earth or maybe slowly extend the leg out long. Breathing here, noticing how the back of your left leg feels as you anchor the left hip down. Hands are easy on the strap as you breathe. Full inhale. Complete exhale. Gently tone your abdominal muscles, bringing the strap into your left hand. Open your right arm out wide. Inhale, reach the leg long, and exhale, slowly begin to open your left leg out to the left side. Option here to place a blanket or a towel or block, pillow under your left thigh if you'd like that extra support. Breathe slowly and fully as you allow your muscles time to unwind. Savoring this slow-moving practice, trusting, knowing that this time is valuable, time well spent. Notice anywhere you might be gripping or holding. Inhale into that area and exhale, imagining that you're letting it go. Your right hip is still anchored into the earth, not rolling up off of the mat. Use an inhale to swing your left leg back towards the midline, bringing the strap into your right hand. Open your left arm out wide, energetically pushing through your left heel as you slowly begin to move the leg across the midline towards the right side of your body. Again, this might not be a very noticeable movement. We're looking to feel the stretch on the iliotibial band. So from just below the knee to into the hip. Breathing here. Again, moving until you feel sensation. So maybe drop your left hip down. That might fire it up. Breathing deeply. One more cycle of breath here. Inhaling fully. Exhale. Return the leg to midline. Maybe bring those knees, the knees or the toes towards your face. I guess they both work. Bend your left knee towards your armpit. Maybe you can reach the outer edge of your left foot. Our moderately happy baby. Releasing the strap. If you can reach your left foot, no worries. If not, breathing here. With an exhale, release both legs long now, maybe windshield wiper the toes to the left and to the right. Plant both feet on the ground again. Cross your right ankle over the left thigh. This might feel like enough here, working into a hip opening. So you may stay here, or maybe you lift your left foot off of the ground, reaching the hands through behind the left thigh if that's available to you. Maybe using your right elbow to push your right thigh away. Option here to pull the strap through, looping it around the left thigh. You might rock side to side here, ever so cautiously. Keeping both ankles flexed, especially your right ankle, helping to protect that right knee. We engage the muscles of the lower leg. Inhale. Exhale, release, setting both feet down. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Again, option to stay here. This might feel like enough. Maybe you lift your right foot off of the ground, reaching the hands behind the right thigh. Maybe using your left elbow to push that left hip open, pushing the left knee away. Flex through both feet and ankles. Breathing here. Noticing your left hip. Again, it might feel nice to shimmy the hips or rock side to side slightly. Another full inhale. Exhale, releasing the legs down. Bring your arms out wide, knees in towards the chest. Exhale, drop your knees over to the left side. Try to keep your shoulders anchored on the mat here. And send some awareness to your right pectoral area and the right shoulder. You might even bring your hand to that area and give yourself a massage or stretch. Many of us are spending a lot of time on our phones and computers. So opening up the chest can be a nice counter to all the time we spent hunched over our devices. Opening both arms out wide. Inhale. Exhale, draw the knees back to the midline. Inhale here. Exhale, lower the knees over to the right side, trying to keep both shoulders anchored onto the mat. Again, option here to bring a hand to your left chest muscles, giving yourself a little massage, or sometimes just bringing our hand to an area helps bring awareness there. Massage can help bring blood flow, oxygen-rich blood. Inhale deeply. Exhale, returning to center. Make your way to a seated position. So either rolling up or maybe rolling onto one side. Sitting up nice and tall. Close your eyes for just a moment here. Our shoulders stacked over hips, ears over shoulders, so it might feel like you lean back in space slightly, drawing the chin back in space slightly. Let's all inhale, shoulders up to ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. Closing your eyes if that's comfortable.
Notice the sounds you can hear. And so you might hear my music or Toby's water bowl sounding like a water fountain. Maybe you notice other sounds in your space. Maybe you can notice the sound of your inhale and the sound of your exhale. Open your awareness up, noticing sounds you might be able to hear outside of your four walls. Now notice the space beneath your seat, any parts of the earth or floor that you're connected to. Imagine that you can press down or root down into those parts. And as you do that, you energetically rebound up the spine as the crown of the head reaches tall into the sky. If your hands are on your knees or thighs, notice the warmth of them on your legs. Notice the textures they feel. Notice the texture of your breath. Does it come in smoothly? Does it feel ragged? And sincerely, there is no right or wrong. Please just observe, take note, and release. You can keep your eyes closed here or softly open them. Inhale your arms out wide, fingers spread wide, move slowly. Feel your wingspan. Feel a nice stretch through your arms all the way up. Exhale, draw your hands down through the midline. Keep the chest and crown lifted. Inhale your arms out wide. Exhale, lower your left hand down to the mat and take lateral spinal flexion. Relax your right shoulder away from the ear. You might use your left hand to push the mat away, exaggerating the arch of the spine here. You can look down towards your left hand if that feels nicer on your neck. Maybe you look straight ahead, or maybe you lift the gaze looking under your right arm. On an inhale, pop back up to neutral spine. Exhale, lower your right hand down to the earth, lateral spinal flexion. To the other side. This time maybe you use that right hand to push the mat away. Like a C, we arch our spine. Relax your left shoulder away from your ears. Doing whatever works for your neck here. On an inhale, pop back up to center. Flex your feet and ankles. Exhale, fold forward. And you might keep your back flat with your heart lifted here. Or maybe it feels really nice to fold forward, rounding the spine. Several breaths in this seated forward fold. Especially if you have rounded the spine, let the head hang heavy, chin coming towards chest. Gentle engagement of the abdominal muscles, navel drawing back towards spine. You might sway side to side ever so slightly. Take note of which leg is in front. On an inhale, slowly walk your hands back towards your body. Sit up tall. Bring your fingers back behind you. You can rotate the hands in whatever way works for you. Lean back and then lift the heart forward and up, drawing your shoulder blades together and down. Send some weight and energy into your fingertips, no matter how your hands are rotated. And breathing here, you can keep your chin parallel to the earth, or if your neck is okay with it, maybe you lift your chin towards the sky. Breathing wherever you go, being kind to your body. Return to a neutral spine. Bring your feet in front of you, both feet planted on the earth. Sit up nice and tall here. Tip back on your hips. Maybe you lift one or both legs off of the mat, firing up our core muscles here. Now you might stay here or alternate legs down, or you may be going for a more full expression of Navasana, boat pose. But whatever you do, keep lifting out of the crown of your head. Keep your abdominal muscles engaged. Maybe adding another balance element, lifting the arms off of the mat. Notice if you really want to go all the way, but you cave and round the spine when you do. In which case, just back it up. We're developing strength here. That way, maybe someday we'll go all the way, maybe not. Breathing wherever you are. You're welcome to stay in a stagnant boat pose variation, or maybe come on a bicycle ride with me, slowly pedaling your feet. And reversing the direction, breathing here, noticing heat building. And returning to crossed legs, crossing the opposite leg in front this time. Inhale your arms out wide and push away, like you're pushing a door frame. Breathe here. You might rotate the arms, bringing the fingertips towards the front, or rotate towards the back. You might add neck rolls here, or anything else that feels good to you. Staying with your breath, moving slowly. And you're welcome to fold forward as we did with the last one, or you can clasp the hands behind your back. Inhaling for length in the spine, and exhale, folding forward. Flexing the feet and ankles. So, yogi's choice here, just breathing wherever you go. Noticing how this side feels in comparison to the other side. On an inhale, slowly walk your hands back towards your body, sitting tall. Moving into all fours. If you already have a practice and are familiar, please move into cat-cow. Building it from the ground up for any newbies. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. If you know you have sensitive wrists, feel free to walk the hands forward a couple of inches. Anytime we have weight on our hands, we want our fingers spread wide. Bring the thumbs in about halfway, if not more. And imagine anchoring into the fingertips and the knuckles, especially the knuckle at the base of the index finger and thumb. When you do that, you might even be able to see the outer edges of your wrist lift up. That's good, that's what we're looking for. Going easy on our wrists here. Cat-cow, we inhale, drop the belly, lift the chin, shoulder blades slide together.
Exhale, chin to chest. Push the earth away as the shoulder blades slide apart. Belly button towards spine, rounding the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, heart pulls forward, opening up the throat. Exhale, taking it the other way. Moving with your own breath. So the word yoga means to yoke or unite. Uniting breath and movement. Uniting body, mind, and soul. Inhaling and exhaling, adding any other motions that feel nice. I know I like to inhale and exhale, pushing back through a modified child's pose. And slowly inhale forward. Enjoy another round or two. Return to neutral tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Engage your abdominal muscles. Inhale. Exhale, lift your hips. Working towards our first Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So a triangle posture here. You might bend one knee and then the other, maybe swaying your hips from side to side. As you begin to settle in to downward facing dog, pay attention to your foundation. So your hands, fingers are spread wide, thumbs coming in halfway, anchored through the root of the index finger and thumb, relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Head hangs heavy here, looking back towards your thighs or knees. Speaking of knees, let's all put a bend in our knees and then lift the hips even higher. Hug your abdominal muscles in. Inhale. Exhale, lower down into plank pose. Energy pressing through the heels, pushing the earth away with the hands, mindful of the weight going into our fingertips and knuckles rather than wrists. Inhale. Exhale, return to downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths here. A bend in the knees is often a good idea. Downward facing dog is all about lengthening the spine, not so much really about straightening the legs. If it happens, that's great. The body's like a pulley system, and if our hamstrings are tight, then it's going to cause us to round our low back if we force our legs straight. So we'd rather have a long back and bent knees than straight legs and a rounded spine. One more breath. Inhale, look forward. Hug in your core muscles as you exhale, slowly walking to the top of your mat, hanging out in Uttanasana, forward fold. I like to bend my knees generously here and drape my belly over my thighs. My feet are hips width apart. Second and third toe centered with the heel. It might feel a little pigeon-toed at first. You can sway side to side here, clasping opposite elbows, maybe clasping the hands behind your back again, reaching the hands up towards the sky. One more inhale here. As you exhale, let everything go. Inhale, press into the feet as you roll all the way up. Palms flip forward, arms out and up. Exhale, bringing your hands to your heart center and releasing hands down by your side. Pausing for a moment to make sure we build a strong Tadasana mountain pose, feet hips width apart or so. Imagine you're pulling your yoga mat in half. So trying to pull the legs apart while simultaneously squeezing them in. We're looking for isometric muscle contraction, so the muscles hugging into the bones.
Neutralize your pelvis, so drop your sacrum down towards the earth. Imagine anchoring down, toning your low abdominal muscles. Shoulders, I always like to roll them up, back, and down. Inhale, sweep your arms out wide. Exhale, fold forward, core muscles engaged. Bend in the knees is always fine. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat back. Excellent for low back strength and stability. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up. Exhaling, hands to the midline. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to the midline. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands, step your left foot all the way back. Lower your left knee down, untucking the toes. Make sure your right ankle is under your right knee. Pull that left hip forward, right hip back, so working to square those hips. Another way to think of it is dragging the left knee towards the right heel. If you have props around you, you can use blocks under your hands here. Coming to fingertips, looking for length in the spine, so rolling those shoulders back if you can. Maybe pressing up, hands on thighs or hands on hips. Maybe inhaling your arms up overhead. Settling in here for 3 to 5 breaths. If your balance feels excellent today, you can close your eyes. Breathing here. If your arms are up overhead, on your next inhale, see if you can reach even higher. Exhale, bringing your hands down to the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Step back into plank pose. Always an option to lower your knees. Breathing in plank pose. Just like we were in mountain pose, we're standing strong here, just flipped on its side. Core muscles hug in, energetically pushing through the heels. Wrists right under shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, lower your knees, bend your elbows, lowering all the way down. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, lower your head down. Tuck your toes with no breath in the body. Push up to plank. Return to downward facing dog. Breathing here. As you breathe, 3 to 5 breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Think about all of those cues again. I like to start at the foundation and work my way up. So thinking about your hands, how you're sending the energy and weight into them. Head's heavy and relaxed in the neck. Abdominal muscles engaged. Hips reach towards the sky, maybe a bend in the knees to get you there. On an inhale, send your left leg into the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward, hover for a second, left knee towards the nose. And then set your left foot down, whatever it takes to get the left foot under the left knee, untucking your right toes. Again, squaring the hips here. So this time we pull the right hip forward, left hip back, or right knee towards the left heel if that works for you. Rolling the shoulders back, looking for length in the spine, either utilizing props under the hands. Maybe we can press up, hands on thigh or hips. Maybe even arms up overhead. Breathing wherever you are. Noticing where your thoughts are going. Inhale. Exhale, set your hands down, tuck your right toes. Inhale, take a giant step forward, kicking your right foot into the sky, standing splits. Drop your right hip down so hips are level. Inhale. Exhale, set your right foot down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale to lift up halfway with a flat back. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, rolling all the way up, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Pause for a moment in Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, your arms out wide and up. Exhale, diving forward, forward fold. Plant your hands, step your right foot back in space. Option to lower your right knee or to keep the right knee lifted. This time, plant your right hand. Inhale, left hand towards the sky, taking a twist. Drag that left hip back in space, right hip forward. Inhale, left hand back to mat. On your next inhale, maybe you rise up. If a bend comes into the right knee, that's perfectly fine. Notice how your right hip flexor, the front of your right hip, is feeling. Keep breathing. One more inhale. Exhale, your hands down to the mat, stepping back into plank. Option to lower your knees as we did last time, or to come with me through Chaturanga Dandasana. So from a solid plank, every muscle in the body is hugging into every bone in the body. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, tip forward on your tippy toes. So your shoulders move forward over your fingertips. Bend at the elbows, lowering down halfway. Feel the elbows hugging your rib cage. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your heart. Upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Might feel really nice right now to take a break in child's pose. Or hang in downward facing dog for 3 to 5 breaths. Noticing your breath. From downward facing dog, on an inhale, your right leg comes into the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your right knee towards your nose, coming forward into a plank-like position, rounded spine. Hover, set your right foot down, do whatever it takes to get it so the right ankle comes under the right knee. Left knee can lower down or stay lifted. Plant your left hand, inhale, taking a spinal twist. Inhaling deeply, and on an exhale, bring your right hand back to the mat. Maybe you stay here, maybe you inhale all the way up, high lunge. Still working hips towards being squared, so left hip towards the front, right hip towards the back. And you can always check by putting your hands on your hips and seeing if they come off parallel. Inhaling. Exhale, set your hands back down, and on an inhale, huge step forward as you come to standing splits. Left foot towards the sky, but drop your left hip down. So hips stay level. Another inhale here. Exhale, setting your left foot down next to your right. Uttanasana, forward fold, hanging heavy here.
Inhale to lift up halfway with a flat back. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, root down to rise up, arms out and up. Exhale, your hands to heart center. Grabbing a strap so it is nearby. We will be doing some balancing postures, so if you prefer to have a chair nearby or to move to a wall, please do so. Exploring Vrikshasana, tree pose today. So don't underestimate the importance of building a firm foundation, just like a house, right? We build a firm foundation, and from that we can build levels up. So Tadasana is our foundation. Anchor down. Feel the sacrum, the base of the spine drop down. You might even feel like you're pushing your hips forward a little bit when you do it. Begin to shift the weight into your right leg. Fire up the right gluteal muscles. Rotate your left toes away from the midline. Bend your left knee, and you might keep the toes on the mat like a little kickstand. Maybe you lift up, pressing your left foot into the right calf, or maybe even coming above the knee. Anywhere except for right on the knee is perfectly fine. Consider still anchoring down through the tailbone, toning those low abdominal muscles. Focusing on an unmoving object, your drishti. Your hands can be at heart center, on your hips, up overhead, wherever they need to be to help you find balance. If you do feel very balanced right now, you can explore lifting your gaze to a higher point. Maybe even closing your eyes. Press the lifted foot into the standing leg, creating almost a suction along that energetic midline of the body. Inhale deeply. Exhale with as much control as you can. Release the foot from the standing leg, maybe hugging that knee in and setting it down, setting your foot down. You can give the standing leg ankle a circle or two and reestablish that firm foundation. Tadasana, mountain pose. And not glossing over this posture. It in and of itself is a yoga practice. It's called mountain pose for a reason also, so you should feel quite solid here. Begin to shift the weight onto your left standing leg, firing up those left gluteal muscles. Imagine everything hugging to the midline as you take your toes on the right side away, bending at the right knee, letting your right foot find its home on the left leg. Breathing deeply as you find your expression of Vrikshasana tree pose today. Inhale deeply. Exhale, slowly coming out of Vrikshasana tree pose. Alright, you're welcome to revisit tree pose if you'd rather do that than what I'm going to offer. Bring strap under your left leg, left foot. Holding the strap then in your left hand, stand nice and tall. Reestablish that Tadasana mountain pose to bring my right hand to hip.
Bend at your left knee. Start lifting that knee up so the thigh is parallel. And that might feel like enough challenge today. Perfectly fine. Maybe you straighten your left leg out. Imagine energetically pushing through the heel on the left foot. Left hip drops down so both hips are level here. You're welcome to stay just as you are, or maybe like a gate opening up, you bring your left leg out wide. Shoulders and hips stay neutral, facing forward. Squeezing the right gluteal muscles in. Breathing wherever you are. Returning your left leg to center and releasing it down. Switching to the other side. From that firm Tadasana mountain pose, taking the moment, I almost skipped it. Anchor down, shift the weight. This time the left leg is standing, bending the right knee, right thigh parallel to the earth. You might stay here. This is a good time to also check the hips, that the hips are level, core muscles hugging in. Glad we did boat pose at the beginning, right? Maybe you extend your left leg out. Your right leg. Pushing through that right heel. Maybe the right leg opens out wide. Core muscles hugging in, still breathing. Returning your leg to center and slowly releasing down. And set your strap off to the side, and please grab any props that you would like to use in your Shavasana. I always like a blanket under or a pillow under my knees. Make your way, actually we'll set it off to the side, I apologize, but do have a pillow or a blanket nearby. We're going to breathe in pigeon pose for a few moments. So if you know that your knees are sensitive or just don't like this posture, then you can return to one that we did at the beginning, this figure 4. You can do that lying on your back or sitting up. You still get excellent benefits of hip opening. But for anyone who wants to do our variation of pigeon pose, I believe you're still standing at home. So let's inhale, arms out wide and up. Exhale, taking a forward fold. Plant your hands down, step back into downward facing dog. One of our last ones of our practice together this evening. So taking any movements that feel nice to you here. Inhale your left heel up towards the sky, a little three-legged dog action. Exhale, bring the left knee towards your left wrist, the left ankle towards your right wrist, flexing your left ankle. Walk your right foot back in space. This is where a pillow or blanket under the left hip, in my opinion, feels so good. Keep flexion in the left ankle. And you've got options. Maybe you stay with your heart lifted. Maybe you like to explore some other variations of pigeon, bending the right knee. I know I like to melt forward. You can have a block under your head if one is available. So finding your own home here, remembering if it hurts, we don't do it. And starting to melt into the posture once you get settled in. We'll be here for about a full minute. So in enjoy relaxing into it. Enjoy those subtle releases on the deep, deep connective tissue level. As you inhale and exhale. Another full cycle of breath, inhaling deeply, exhale, releasing. Slowly walk the hands under your shoulders or so. Tuck your right toes under. Lift back up, passing through downward dog just to make the transition. Moving your pillow or blanket to the other side. Inhale your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, right knee towards right wrist, flexing the right ankle, walking your left leg back in space, and finding your expression of our pigeon variation on this side. Check in with your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Slowly walk your hands towards your body. Smooth transition here. We'll roll onto the right hip and swing both legs out in front of you, grabbing whatever props you would like to have the best ever Shavasana. I always like a pillow under my knees. A lot of folks like a blanket under their head. So get yourself set up for success. And once you find yourself in your Shavasana, make sure nothing is in your way. So make space for yourself. If you're bumping something, push it off to the side. Unless it's like a cat. In which case, pull it closer. Palms lift up towards the sky. You might walk your shoulder blades together and down one more time. And let yourself drop in. Just like at the beginning of practice, our spine is relieved of gravity. For the moment, it's not pressing down on it. Instead, you can just imagine gravity hugging onto your body, sinking into the earth. With your eyes closed here, tune into your breath. as you inhale, notice your body expanding. And as you exhale, notice the body soften, dropping in heavy. Inhaling, the body expands in all directions. Exhaling, the body lets go. Notice if you run off with thoughts, simply come back to your breath. Begin to deepen your breath. Inviting full breaths into the body as you have small movement return. Maybe drawing circles with the wrists and ankles. Maybe stretching the body long, reaching your arms up overhead like you just woke up again. Make your way back to a comfortable seat. If you'd rather stay in Shavasana longer, please feel invited to. If you have returned to a comfortable seat, please close your eyes softly, bringing your hands together at heart center. Sitting tall, we'll share 3 rounds of Om to close our practice. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhaling. like, you can bring your hands up to your forehead space for kind and loving thoughts. Lower your hands to your heart space for kind and loving intentions. And lift your hands to your throat space for kind and loving communication. Thank you for sharing your practice. We appreciate everyone who takes the time for themselves, and that's ultimately for the community, to take care of yourself through this beautiful practice. As I mentioned at the beginning of class, this is a complimentary service that we're offering. As many of you know, Sattvic Space Yoga and Healing Studio is a registered nonprofit, and it's a large space. So we'd love to be able to keep the lights on and reopen once the pandemic is behind us. So if you do have any extra dollars, we are always accepting donations, but please, please, please know that this is first and foremost free, because we want it available to you. My name is Carly, and I'll be teaching this beginner-friendly yoga class every Monday at 5:30 Eastern Time. I hope to see you next week and see you soon. Thank you.